Okay, so let's get things started with pack a lunch. Now, there was a point where I didn't even think we were gonna have this segment, people, because we only had three fights that went the distance, right? And only two of those were within regular play, as it were, boy, it was definitely a bang bang kind of night at the Accor Arena. So our first fight, right, that went the distance was, was it the opening fight? Yes, it's the opening fight of the main card, right? It was our clash between Robert Ruchała and William Gomis. Right, this was a featherweight clash, and it was Roka's UFC debut. Right, he was on a 2-fight win streak. Gomi coming off a loss. Right, so definitely an interesting clash, and I think straight away the big difference with this fight, right, was Gomi very precise. You know what I mean? Like sharp shots and kicks. Roka was kind of more like your down and dirty, let's just have a street fight kind of approach, which I think sometimes that can catch people, right? Because if you are looking for this very strategic game, and then someone comes in just swinging for the houses, you can be like, oh, wait, hold on, you need to be in this position for me to land this, and what's going on? You know what I mean? But in the first round especially, Gomi was doing a great job of landing, using his range. Using his range weapons, a lot of front kicks to the stomach and that kind of thing, which definitely was working very well. I think after that, now Solis, that's not Solis, that's the next. Roka, he was at times being destructive with just swinging. In the first round, Gomi was doing a good job of avoiding a lot of those with his footwork, right? As the fight went on, like in the second round, Gomi slowed a little, and it allowed Roka to get more into clinches. Now, Gomi was doing an okay job of landing knees, right? But Roka was able to get a takedown. Now, the thing with it, right, he did have control for a period of time. Didn't really land any ground and pound at all. I don't think he landed any, actually. And I think under the new rules, it's not just a case of taking someone down and holding them, right? If you're not landing damage or going for submissions, that might not count for anything. I think if nothing else happens in a round, then that can give you the round. But if you don't do anything and then the other person, right, does something, hits some significant shots or takedowns, whatever, I think that person can take the round. And right, so when they got back up, Gomi did land significant shots. I think he got a takedown towards the end of the round. That's the third round, right? So there was that. Now in the third round, I think Roka knows what's the score. He's coming forward. I think Gomi has slowed a lot. But yeah, he gets a takedown towards the third round, like towards the end, and then goes for a rear naked. So I think Roker, he lost the fight, right? But he definitely showed tenacity. Like, and then in the third, because he's trying to get that win, right? That shows character. That shows something. So, when you think he's an American top team, right? He has good training partners. I think he will do okay, right? There's definitely winnable fights for him. It's just about like working on, better ways of getting inside, and then especially if you get a takedown, landing damage, man. You know what I mean? That's what you need to land damage, right? So in our other fight, right, which was it the next? Yeah, it was actually the next fight on the card. So we went up to welterweight. And I think the big thing was because, so, I didn't say who it is it? It's Rhys McKee against Alex Sola, right? And Sola was also making his debut. Now, the thing is, Sola usually fights at lightweight. So this was a very last minute affair. And so, he took it a welterweight. I mean, you're going to, right? If it's firstly, it's your opportunity to get to the big show, and you get to fight on home soil. So yeah, you take that shit, right? So that's what he did. Now, I think like it started off, and Sola was doing a very good job, right? He was landing well, a lot of kicks, all of this. Very good game. And I think he clearly wins the first round, though towards the end of the round, McKee started to find his range. Right? Now, with that going into the second, McKee, now he's got his range, he is definitely landing more, right? Sola is slowed, because also Sola got a takedown in the first round, right? And I think it was interesting because it looked like he was, at that point winning the stand-up. But he was working very hard to get a takedown. So he gets a takedown. And I think he used up a lot of energy. I think it's using up a lot of energy getting the takedown, but also, right, it's UFC jitters, man. It's UFC jitters. You've made the big show. You're fighting on home soil, right? You're on the main card, right? Your fellow, I was going to say Parisian, but actually I don't know if Gomis is, but your French brother has just won before you. So that's a lot of pressure, right? That's a lot of like, shit. I can't be the one to lose, right? That's the big thing, right? There was another French win before that, so it's just like, oh, yeah, I've got to win, right? I've got to win. So I think all of these things then put that pressure on Sola. So I think he kind of just, he's gassed out, right? So, I mean, he wasn't completely, gassed, right? But he definitely had slowed down. So McKee is landing more, right? He's landing more, doing his thing. And I would say that possibly McKee wins the second. But I do think that still Sola is being the more precise of the two, right? McKee is making this a brawl, and he's countering well, right? Going into the third round, McKee's coming forward, right? It's like he's thinking, I might need a finish. And that's what he's coming forward trying to do that. Sola, definitely still slow. Slowed even more. But he's still trying to work the body, right? Still trying to work the body, still being very precise. His movement, not as good as the first, but he's still moving around. He does then get a takedown towards the end of the round. And, lands ground and pound. And I think does enough to get the win. I think, the fact that he was able to do all of this, on short notice, upper weight class, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Sola can do, when he has more time, right? An actual camp, and, he's fighting at lightweight, right? That will be interesting. Now, obviously, McKee was hoping to get another win, keep the momentum going, right? But he wasn't terrible. You know what I mean? Like, his counters were good, right? He didn't get knocked out, so his chin has definitely, he's worked on all of that kind of stuff. So, it's not all bad news for McKee. If he'd got blown out the water straight away, yeah, that's not great. But I think McKee, there's still winnable matches for him. So, we'll see what he does next time around. But yeah, that was it. Just 2 fights going the distance, people. That's our pack of lunch.